What's up, everybody? D-Man back. Welcome to a brand new video, and today we're going to be doing another Godzilla Kong 3 news roundup. That's right, we are in the new era. I told you we're in the new era. In this video, we will be continuing our chronological journey through the development of the next MonsterVerse movie by talking about events that happened in January. So if you're already aware of these, that's why. And today we're going to be jumping into the first official plot details and casting announcements for Godzilla Kong 3. Starting out, let's show off some artwork like always, and this first piece comes to us from Munko. This is an awesome one. We're celebrating the Fortnite era of Godzilla. This poster is awesome. I love it. Goodbye, Godzilla. He's waving to us. You got Mothra Glider with Hatsune Miku. Oh, Miku. We'll return to some artwork in a little bit as Godzilla left Fortnite, so this is it for now. This next one, I was a little confused by this post. I'm not entirely sure what the context of it is, but Joe over on Twitter posted this visiting Chinatown in San Francisco. Now, I can't tell if this is actually a picture they took or if this is just a stock photo, but this is an image of Chinatown, which obviously is where Godzilla does his big atomic breath. To celebrate Godzilla and Kong being in Fortnite, Legendary launched some new Fortnite merch. So, on the Legendary shop, you can get the Godzilla Fortnite shirt as well as the Kong Fortnite hoodie and shirts, and so there's some cool merch there for you. The Playmates Drown Viper hit shelves. This Drown Viper comes with the brand new MonsterVerse packaging. Playmates is obviously moving away from the Godzilla Kong The New Empire branding, as that movie's a little old now, so this new packaging features Godzilla Kong Mothra, as well as King Ghidorah and the Ion freaking Dragon, hyping up the fact that they will be doing Monarch Legacy of Monsters figures soon, which I think is so cool. I have reviewed the Playmates Drown Viper. You can go check out my review of that on the channel now. I highly recommend it. It was one of my more extreme opinions I've had on a Playmates figure. Next up, we've got the Playmates One Eye, which also hit shelves. This One Eye came with the new revamped packaging as well. I really like that One Eye render they've added to the box art. I like that Playmates is releasing those kind of obscure characters. Now just fingers crossed for Asilla. The X Plus Toho Giant Monster Series Godzilla 2024 Evolved version was released. The Rick version featured an upturned roaring head, and this thing ran you $178. As always, X Plus kills it. Just incredible texture, incredible paint. I love the subtleties of the paint job, really amplifying this sculpt. I love whenever you can use paint to complement the sculpt and to complement the figure on the whole. Overall, this thing looks awesome. It's obviously Godzilla recreating his supercharged pose, which he hits in Rio when he goes full crazy mode. So pretty cool stuff. As Fortnite continued to celebrate their MonsterVerse collaboration, they released this very cute little video of Godzilla Kong and Mechagodzilla doing rock, paper, scissors, in which Mechagodzilla wins and becomes the giant Godzilla boss. I thought that was a lot of fun, so I just wanted to show it off. At the same time, Mr. Goji shared this video of a very Shin Godzilla styled moment in Fortnite. So I guess if you watched the theater mode playbacks of your Godzilla gameplay, whenever you'd release your atomic breath, it would just continue to show the beam coming out of your mouth for way longer than it did in the gameplay. So it results in Godzilla having all these multi-beams going in all these different directions, which looks insane. Some Godzilla multi-beam photos were shared. I think they look fantastic. Awesome photos here. And in it, Mr. Goji once again connected this back to the Godzilla King of the Monsters cave art, which was released to promote that movie, featuring Godzilla fighting some Mutos underwater, in which his atomic breath beams in multiple directions at once. Now, this is not the newest concept, as we also saw Godzilla have this ability in a mobile game promoting Godzilla vs. Kong. In a world where the MonsterVerse continues to give Godzilla ridiculous powers every single movie that he never had displayed any evidence of having before this time, such as the ability to hyper-evolve, the ability to go supercharged mode at any time with no consequences, or even just down to the fact that Godzilla can run and Mario jump in Rome in ways that he was never able to before. This is an ability that I think would be an awesome addition to Godzilla's character. Rather than giving him an overpowered nuclear pulse, I like the idea that Godzilla would be able to split his beam, maybe using his tongue or something. I don't know about having like 20 arcs of it coming out of his mouth, but I think limiting Godzilla to like a triple multi-beam could be fantastic. It could be so cool to fight multiple enemies at once counts with, it wouldn't be the biggest stretch to say Godzilla has learned this ability, and I think it would be awesome, you know? I think that would be the type of cool ability that I would be more excited about Godzilla displaying in the future, rather than like, oh, he turned himself into a magnet, or he supercharged and evolved. This is something that I think is a little cooler, because it's a little more in Godzilla's range, like something that more easily he could pull off, that also I don't think makes him that much more overpowered than his normal atomic breath. Especially if you say like him splitting the beam weakens the strength of either beam, you know? The more he splits it, the weaker each beam is, but the more targets he can hit. That'd be cool. As Godzilla was leaving Fortnite, it was said, I guess there's Fortnite lore, the character of Charlotte is who killed Godzilla in Fortnite, so hey, take that, the rule that Godzilla can never die. Godzilla canonically dies in Fortnite. Charlotte is said to have a cursed sword which will slay giant mythical reptiles. Supposedly it was using this mythical sword that she slayed Godzilla. I don't know how, but that's why Godzilla left Fortnite in canon. What a crazy thing that Fortnite has canon. Anyways, Mr. Goji memed Godzilla leaving Fortnite. I thought this one was great. I know some other people had posted similar memes before Mr. Goji, but I thought the edit was so funny, so I wanted to show that off. Solo Mono shared this artwork of Godzilla leaving Fortnite with Miku waving goodbye as Godzilla heads back out through the rift portal. Very cool stuff. Great artwork. Wanted to show that off as well. Ronnie Robbie, a game producer over at Epic Games, discussed having Godzilla in Fortnite. I thought it was really cool. He says, bittersweet feeling saying goodbye to Godzilla so soon as we approach the 33.30 downtime tonight. It's been by far the most challenging feature I've worked on so far while at Epic, and I am endlessly proud of what the team accomplished in spite of that challenge. I think they nailed it. It's actually some of the most fun Godzilla gameplay I have had across any Godzilla game ever. We made something really special, something you can only find in Fortnite. A fully playable, massive Godzilla in a battle royale? Truthfully, it didn't seem realistic when we started, but so much hard work, love, and time went into delivering the fantastic spectacle of becoming him. Totally agree. It was wild seeing the community expecting him to just be another boss for the longest time, and the surprise and excitement when he was revealed to be playable was super humbling. If it were my choice, he'd be sticking around longer, but the show must go on, as they say. A nice little tribute to Godzilla in Fortnite. Rebecca Hall, who of course played Eileen Andrews in Godzilla vs. Kong and Godzilla Kong: The New Empire, joined Adam Wingard's upcoming movie Onslaught, re-teaming with Dan Stevens, also from Godzilla Kong: The New Empire, just showing that Wingard has cultivated a really nice little community around himself. Like, people really like working with him, and that's great to hear. A lot of people took that to mean she will not be in Godzilla Kong 3, and while I don't think she will be in Godzilla Kong 3, that means nothing. Actors can book multiple gigs at the same time, as we saw Dan Stevens is in both movies. Spoilers for the next news roundup. Godzilla Kong 3's first official details were announced as Kaitlyn Dever was revealed to be our first cast member for the next MonsterVerse movie. That is awesome to hear. Kaitlyn Dever officially joins the MonsterVerse. I believe this news was broken by Deadline. I saw a lot of people have a knee-jerk reaction to Kaitlyn Dever being announced to be in Godzilla Kong 3, like, oh great, here we go again, another kid storyline in the MonsterVerse, another Madison Russell joining the mix, ruining the next movie with a bunch of kids running around. She is 28 years old, she's not a kid, and I don't think she's gonna be playing like a kid character. I think she's gonna be playing a full-grown adult. I don't know where that take comes from. I don't know. Genre fans might know Kaitlyn Dever as being in the movie No One Will Save You, or in The Last of Us Season 2, where she plays Abby, and that might give you a strong feeling about the character. Try not to input that feeling on the actress. She didn't do that. We also have our first official details about this new movie. It's stated here, the movie is described as a continuation of the franchise centering Godzilla Kong and an assortment of other titans. Of course, we know Godzilla and Kong are going to be back in this movie, although this is official confirmation that they will be re-teaming again for this next film. It is another Godzilla Kong team-up movie. I don't think Legendary and Warner Bros. Are interested in doing solo movies. They want to do team-up movies from now on. I guess until we see how this one performs at the box office, but that's what they want. So anyways, also having more Titans confirmed. I've said this before, at a time that would have been really exciting news. Like that, whoa, new Titans to be in the MonsterVerse, that's awesome. Who are they gonna be? What monsters are they gonna fight? First of all, Godzilla and Kong being in the movie is not, obviously it's not just gonna be the two of them. They're not fighting again, so of course there's gonna be another monster, but also the Hollow Earth has kind of blown the lid on Titans in the MonsterVerse to the point where they're not really special, they're just part of the ecosystem, so of course we're gonna see more Titans. Hopefully that means more name brand monsters like Mothra and Shimo, but I guess we'll see. We'll see what they decide to follow up on. Continuing with the article, it says, insiders say that while Kong and Godzilla will still be fronting the film, Legendary is looking to build on its human characters. monsters, and the first logical choice landed on Denver, whose star has been on the rise for some time. Interestingly enough, you know, Godzilla and Kong the New Empire was like all about the monsters. The human characters took a backseat in that movie and I think have about 50-50 screen time, but they're doing so much less interesting things that the movie really is about primarily Kong and Kong's journey. This, I think, is still saying like the monsters are getting a heavy focus, but we're probably shifting back to something more like Godzilla versus Kong, which was a little more 60-40 between 60% humans, 40% monsters. And they're looking to build upon the human story, of course, in a post-Godzilla -1 world, with that being the thing that was the most heavily praised about Godzilla -1. That comes as no surprise to me. Of course, you're going to want to build upon your human characters. I also just think like it's best for storytelling for the most part. That's no surprise to me, although I know some people are a little worried about that. I don't think you got anything to worry about. They know what we're here for. They know why we pay to see these movies, and I don't think they're going to not deliver on the monster action. So I think it's fine. Continuing, it says she now joins the franchise as it combines character-driven storytelling with its signature epic scale and titan clashing action in Spittori's vision. So I guess this is Spittori's idea, to have it be much more of a human-driven story, which is great. That's what I want to hear, a character-driven story. That's the best. Also, character-driven stories doesn't necessarily mean that it's not going to be about the monsters, as the monsters themselves are full-fledged characters. So we'll just have to wait and see. Finally, it says the next entry will feature several new human characters alongside Godzilla and Kong as they face off against a cataclysmic world-ending threat. Of course they do, because it couldn't be simple in the MonsterVerse. Everything has to be a world-ending threat. Even something as simple as the skull crawlers could become an invasive world-ending species in Kong Skull Island. We can't bring down the stakes even for 1 minute, other than I guess Godzilla vs. Kong, which I did appreciate. I don't know what the focus on new human characters is, other than maybe that they were just like, hey, people didn't really connect with the other human characters, or maybe they just didn't want to come back, so let's do a whole new cast. I really think that this movie should have been the movie that bridged the gap, bringing in at least some, literally some, not all of them, but some of the King of the Monsters crew, bringing them back into the fold, merging them with some of the GXK crew, and having new characters. That might sound crowded, but if you take like 2 or so King of the Monsters characters, whether that be Dr. Chen and Mark Russell, and some of the GXK characters like Trapper and Andrews and Gia maybe, you could still have plenty of room for new characters to be at the forefront of the story, while those guys are just kind of peripherals floating around, you know? Of course, you could still have Trapper be one of the leads or whatever, but point is, I would have liked to see more returning faces. But I'm very excited to see what Kaitlyn Dever will bring to the table. There's a theory that was originally pitched by Mr. Goji, I believe, that suggests that Kaitlyn Dever will be the little girl from Hawaii in Godzilla 2014, I guess simply because they are both blonde and look a little similar, and also because that little girl, canonically in the MonsterVerse, we've jumped 10 years, we're gonna be in like 2030 something in the MonsterVerse now, so she would be older, but I don't personally think it's gonna be her. That's way too deep of a cut and way too weird of a reference for them to hinge a movie plot point on. Finally here, Daisy Ridley liked and celebrated this article being posted on Instagram with this little clapping, celebrating that Kaitlyn Dever's in this next movie. Some people took that as a hint that maybe Daisy Ridley will be in the next movie. I don't think it means much of anything other than that she's supportive of presumably a friend, but I guess we'll wait and see. I don't think that means she's joining the MonsterVerse though. Could be wrong, but not my thought. And that will do it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons over on Patreon. It is through the support of the patrons on Patreon that I'm able to continue to make videos like this for you. If you want to support the Patreon, you can use the link in the description below, where you can get early access to content, access to the Discord community, and more. If that's not your thing, please consider joining as a channel member. It helps the channel out a ton. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you all next time for the next one. D-Man out.